Please be ready for a dictation of material titled Attaining the Age of 100 Years and Its Social Consequences. 5 seconds. Start. We can safely say that there was a lack of medical knowledge in the Middle Ages. At that time, too, little was known about hygiene. For example, waste was carelessly thrown away near people's homes, and the sewage was channeled into public waters, all of which sometimes caused pollution of wells for drinking water. In the Middle Ages, one could therefore die from serious diseases and infections that today can be cured with medicines or even be prevented. Because of these unfavorable circumstances, people had in those times only a short life expectancy of about 35 to 40 years. Nowadays, our living conditions are fortunately completely different, such as greatly improved medical care, a higher standard of general hygiene, and an informed health awareness among populations. As a result, life expectancy has already for several decades been steadily rising worldwide, and more people are reaching old age. Scientists already assume that today's newborn children are the first human beings who basically can become 100 years old. It is necessary to examine in detail which are the most important consequences of this development. We will have to look at the job market, at public health care, and at the pension insurance system. The share of older generations in the population, as in Europe, has been increasing for a long time. Just because mankind in general grows older, there also will be more and more older persons, and when they are still in good health and need money to live on, they will be looking for jobs. That is why there is an increasing number of older job seekers in the labor market. This change poses some challenges for companies and authorities because already today's growing demand for manpower makes it unthinkable to neglect the supply of older employees. However, the obvious condition is that the usual terms of employment are adjusted for this new group of employees. It mainly concerns the following two items: the normal working hours and the physical strain of work. What helps is that many companies are already familiar with part-time work. So in practice, it will be quite possible for our older colleagues to start later in the day or go home earlier. Adjustment is also possible regarding the physical strain. Physical work is increasingly disappearing because of technological progress, whereas knowledge-intensive activities are coming to the fore. In this perspective, older employees need to be prepared to take part in appropriate supplementary training. So people are getting older and older. At the same time, the statistics show us that the years gained are often paid for with a high price because they are at the expense of one's health. This means that the older a person gets, the longer will be the time that illnesses can weaken him. As some would say here, to live longer means being ill longer. At any rate, we surely cannot ignore the financial consequences of the relationship between old age and illnesses. In fact, even regardless of age, it so happens that the highest medical care costs are incurred during the last 1 or 2 years of life. For instance, using every available possibility of medical intervention to ensure that patients can receive the best treatment also increases the overall costs of medical care. Although reaching a high age is still generally accompanied by growing disabilities and needs, we can observe that good health care turns out to help older persons effectively stay healthy. This development is, of course, both in their own interest and beneficial for society as a whole, as it reduces the costs of public health care. As more and more people reach a very old age and become vulnerable to illnesses, it is therefore worthwhile to pay special attention to health care for the elderly. One can think, for instance, of counseling about a healthy lifestyle aimed specifically at older generations. Stop.